show. Hey, let your show. Just let your show. Hey, get it right. Step and let your show. Hey, let your show. Just let your show. Hey, let me see you bounce right to left and let your show. Hey, let your show. Hey, let your show. Hey, get it right. Step and let your show. Just let your show. Hey, let your show. Oh, hey, roll.
What up?
Call my 15 in this bitch. This grand hustle team of kings is getting rich. I lean and get lit. Lima bean 6, I take breath. The opposite of Primatine is. I ride 26 and let my nine spin flip. Trophy watching Oprah Mac, 9 bean clip. True black phantom nigga, 9 ain't tilt. With Lil Jon down, man, but 9 ain't flip. Can't bounce. Okay, then I let my shoulder lean. And I bet my car talk. And I bet my motor clean. Suicide don't brown, look like Oprah. Everybody know in the club, all they smoking me. Tro, whole scoping me. Ice pump for both return. 100 carat hammer froze for a shoulder lean. I don't know how that is.
What up, everybody? This is Forehead. So we back in here again for another week. And we're gonna have a little fun tonight. Get in here, get out, do a couple things, just shoot shit as always. You know how we do. So, of course, everybody been knowing or seeing that you have a lot of nobody care about Purdue trash ass. The WNBA has been going on this whole crusade about they wanted to get paid more money and everything. Cool. I mean, me and you've had to talk before about what I felt in them making money, but they had their All-Star weekend not too long ago. I think Nafisha Collins, she the one who won MVP for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And Skylar Diggins got the first triple-double ever in the All-Star game. But my question was more so, well, the thing that stood out to me more so is all of them wearing these shirts saying, pay us what you owe. My question to you was, what were your thoughts on seeing them wearing those type of shirts at the All-Star game?
I mean, my first thought was, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, like, because to me, when I hear somebody say, pay us what you owe us or pay me what you owe me, that means there's some sort of agreement in place and you haven't fulfilled your financial obligation for whatever agreement we had. That's what I think. So that was the first thing that came to my mind is like, what do the WNBA owners or what do the players feel like that they were previously supposed to have been paid, but they have not been paid. Now, I come to listen a little bit. I don't think that's their intent. I think their intent is they want to be paid more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as kids, for those of y'all that are listening, words matter. Words matter. So when you put something on your shirt that say "Pay us what you owe us," in my mind, you're saying that we had some sort of deal, contract, whatever, and you didn't meet your financial obligation. But what I think they're really trying to say is we need to be, as a whole, we need to be making more money. I think that I understand where the ladies are coming from in terms of like the WNBA and probably women's basketball in terms of in the United States is more popular than it's ever been, probably in my lifetime. I mean, there was a time when Dawn Staley was on Team USA, and they had Dawn Staley, Lisa Leslie, and some other ladies that
Becca Lobo and people that
that was on the Team USA when they was on Martin. You know what I'm saying? During that time frame where Cheryl Swoosh, they was really popular, but I still don't think they were as popular as it is right now.
I agree.
But so I think they're saying because of the popularity, the growth in popularity, that they deserve more money. This is what I would say to them, not knowing all the financials of the WNBA. I would say this: it doesn't. I understand where the players are coming from, but from an owner's perspective, I think the owners have to be careful because they have to. You know, you want to keep your players happy and want to participate. You don't want to lock out, and I don't think it would be beneficial for the players of the WNBA to have a lockout because these sports, they're not like 20, 30, 40-year sports, established sports in terms of you can expect the same audience to come back. You know what I mean? So I think a lockout at any time would be terrible for them to kind of like capitalize on that momentum. Anyways, long story short, what I'm trying to say is I think they need to be careful where they're going with this because as has been much reported on, the WNBA has never made a profit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still subsidized to some extent by the NBA.
It was fully subsidized by the NBA.
Well, I mean, like the NBA doesn't. When I say somewhat subsidized, meaning the NBA does not pay all their bills. Is what I mean by that.
I thought they did. I
No.
thought most owners, if not all owners, are NBA owners as well.
No,
Okay.
nah. Yeah, nah. So I think they should be careful. But I think I understand where they're coming from. And if the money is there, then you know what I'm saying, you ask for it. The only way you're gonna get more money is if you ask for it. But it's kind of I think it's gonna turn some fans off, not because they are thinking that you don't deserve more money, but it makes it look like, from my perspective, it makes it look like what's going on in your brain. You're gonna ask for a raise when your company ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? That's not good business.
And I mean, to me, and that's why I'm gonna try to be without being funny and crazy on this topic like I normally would. I, for the most part, agree with you. I understand where they're coming from. They're saying that, okay, we're so popular, the game is growing, that we should get more money. But in the aspect, just like you mentioned, the league as a whole is operating, from what some reports are saying, at a $40 million loss annually. You've never made a plus in any year that the WNBA has been around. You've always operated in a negative. So with all that being said, what do you mean you want to have or pay you what you owe? If anything, you should be paid less based on that. Now, I do get where they're saying that, okay, it's growing, the game is growing, and y'all want a some of them are saying they just want a bigger split of the market share. Okay, I get that, but you also have some who are speaking ridiculous, in my opinion, saying they should be making NBA money at this point. In no juncture should anybody in the WNBA be making NBA money. None. Nobody. I don't think nobody in the WNBA is worth making NBA money. Not okay. Let me say this. I will say this. Maybe 15 on a bench, maybe, but nobody in the WNBA should be making star money or even veteran star money. Nobody should be making 5, 6, 7 million a year in the WNBA. None of them. The game isn't big enough. They're not drawing enough attention to warrant that.
I agree with you that like financially it's not smart and it's not feasible and it's not the right thing to do. I personally, this is just me, I think you can make an argument that Caitlin Clark should make $1 million a year.
I don't. She will. I'm not saying that she may not never garner that or should be in a position to garner. I'm saying at this juncture, she's only in her second year. She hasn't done enough. She hasn't garnered enough. Now, if anybody who's going to be in there, in my opinion, I would say Asia. She would be first. Her and, like you say, Collier, LaFisha Collier. Maybe even well, she's retired now, but like Deladonna or what's the other girl, DT, who just retired.
Yeah,
they could have worked that in.
I think go ahead.
Now I would say now Caitlin, because she's bringing so many eyes and helping grow the game. At some point, should she get to there? Yes, I think she should be one of the ones who do get it. But for the most part, they're not making enough money as a league. The league as a whole is losing money.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that, you know what I'm saying, from a financial perspective, it doesn't make sense to pay anybody in the WNBA $1 million. The only reason I said that if I could see a legitimate argument being made about her and probably Asia Wilson would be the other person I would say. And this is not based on talent or anything. This is about the attention that they bring to the game.
Mm-hmm.
In my lifetime, I can't think of any female that has brought as much attention to women's basketball. I could be wrong, except for there was a time when Lisa Leslie kind of started dunking that it kind of brought it, but it still never like blew up like it has been in the last 3 or 4 years. And
I don't necessarily. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
me personally, I attribute that in metrics, the things that you can't argue with. Well, I mean that you can a little bit to me, all say that the boom is not exclusive to her, but a lot of the boom and the interest in women's basketball from the college level and beyond can be tied directly to her. Even if you go to attendance in terms of like, as good as some of these players have been around that you mentioned have been around for a while, they've never, I'm not going to say never, but you don't hear about them having even when the Aces won back-to-back championships, you didn't hear about them going into places and them having to like move the games to larger arenas to accommodate to accommodate ticket demands and stuff like that. And then, even when you go back to viewership and stuff like that, generally speaking, the numbers of when she plays tend to be like, if you go back and watch the highest rated games in college basketball the last few years and in the WNBA the last few years, if you go look at the top 10, I would venture to guess, I can't remember off the top of my head, she was probably directly involved in at least 8 of those 10 games on both levels. Not 4 and 4, but 8 out of 10 on the college level and 8 out of 10 on the WNBA level.
I'd have to research that because I remember at one point in time I saw one, and she wasn't involved in 8 of them. She was like maybe like she's in there at least half of them for sure. She had something to do with half of them. But it wasn't as high as 8. But the only thing I was gonna say, like you say, you don't think it's. I think it's just not that it wasn't as popular. I think, well, of course it wasn't, but I think we saw a big boom when we had, like you said, you had Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Sweets, and Houston winning back all those 4 in a row with, Lisa Leslie. In the exception of the WNBA, it was big, but now it's just grown so much. The game has grown, and I don't want to put it all on her, on Caitlin. Now she's put I would say maybe a large effect, only because I'm gonna say a lot of is due to things I don't necessarily want to really just go into. Most so is from outside influences and reasoning about why more eyes on it, in my opinion. Let's just move on. Sticking with basketball, right? Because that's pretty much what's next.
Yeah.
So, did you see that Chris Paul signed with the Clippers? You saw that?
Yep.
He's trying to make another run. Quick question: do you think in a joking sense, do you think the Clippers has become officially the old folks' home for injury-prone basketball players, and people still trying to hang on too long instead of just retiring?
Who else they pick up? I know they picked up somebody. I can't think of who it is.
They got Bradley Beal too.
Well, he ain't been injured though. Well, I guess he was off and on last year. No, I don't think so. I do think that it might be, you know what I'm saying? They might be, could they be? Well, no, they like the Lakers when they had.
Okay. I guess let me get a little bit more into when I say that, because when I say injury prone and people holding on too long, right? So you had Paul George, you got their injury prone. Ryan Leonard, anybody else? I mean, you got Bradley Beal now. You got Chris Paul going back, and then even when you look at players, I say that's holding on too long. Like you got James Harden, who probably should stop. You got Chris Paul, who probably should stop. Marcus Morris was there for a long time.
James Harden should stop?
Yeah, I think he should, but that's a whole nother conversation. Even our friend Kenny Martin went there at one point in time. You have a lot of players who's at the tail end of their careers who always run to the Clippers. And they get signed, not saying they get huge contracts and nothing like that, but you see so many old players who still not ready to walk away from the game. They tend to end up either with the Clippers. You'll see some fall with the Knicks too, but you see a lot of them end up with the Clippers. I guess being that their franchise has always been so bad that they just take anybody.
No, man,
that's why I was kind of asking that.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's an interesting move by the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? You can it allows you more rest for James Harden potentially because you have a guy who can come in. I mean, he's not the scoring threat that James Harden is, but you can argue that he's every bit the passer. And I'm like, he's as good a pick and roll player, but probably in a different way than James Harden. James Harden. I mean, I don't know who's the best lob thrower out of the pick and roll between Chris Paul and James Harden. That's a tight one because Chris Paul was in Lob City and he was throwing lobs out of the pick and roll. Like DeAndre Jordan, he might have owed a lot of his money to Chris Paul throwing them lobs. Same with Quentin Capella owing James Harden a lot of his money. I mean, I'm being facetious, obviously, but no, I don't think so. I mean, I think they'll be a solid team. You know what I'm saying? It's good that they have Bradley Beal now. I mean, in theory, Bradley Beal should be able to score at a high level. I mean, Kawhi, you know what I'm saying? Because we know Kawhi ain't going to play 82 games. You hope that he can play 65.
Shit.
And James Harden is obviously a year older. The Clippers ain't going nowhere. The Clippers are one of those teams, right? They look good on paper because you see the names and you think 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Oh, they got James Harden. Well, this ain't the same 36-point a game, 10 assists James Harden. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Kawhi from 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And so, but I don't think it's the old for her. I mean, Chris Paul was there for a while. You can make an argument that he's the best Clippers point guard ever. You can make that argument. And they had a lot of success while he was there. So, I think it's crazy.
Go back and look at the history. I want to say they had some very big good players back in the day.
For that long. Ron Harper was a hell of a player the best version of Ron Harper was in Los Angeles when he played for the Clippers. Mark Jackson played for the Clippers.
Well, you best of Harper? What about when he's in Cleveland?
Say again?
So what about when he was in Cleveland?
Nah, the best version of Ron Harper, I believe, was probably when he was in LA. In terms of I look up his stats, but that's my brain. That don't mean I'm correct.
That's cool. I mean, that was supposed to be a long topic. Most of these topics that we had were just quick questions and give thoughts. They were supposed to be long topics. But I don't know. You might be right with Chris Paul being probably the best point guard. I would just have to think about it more. I can't think of the names off the top of the head, but I want to say they've had some good point guards in their history. Some really good point guards in their history.
I guess you're right. I mean, it was about he averaged 22 his rookie year, 15, 18. And then
but they still trying to hold on to Elo.
22, then you got the Cleveland 23, 19, 18, 18, 20. So I guess you can make an argument either way, but you might be right about Cleveland.
But I mean, it's good. It's neither here nor there. Your boy Big T. Did you see that he said he would threaten to block the Commanders bid for a new stadium if they don't change their name back to the Redskins?
This is where this is where Trump need a platoon sergeant or a first sergeant to say, you don't have nothing to do. I'm gonna find you something to do. Yeah, I'm gonna find you something to do because you seem like you don't have nothing to do. Maybe we need to look at area beautification or something. Go get that lawnmower out there. Go bring your e-tool out and edge this whole little. You know what I'm saying? He need a first sergeant or a platoon sergeant. Oh, you don't have nothing to do? Because you clearly don't have nothing to do. If he got this, he ain't got enough to do. Somebody, where I'm asking, where your platoon sergeant? Where your first sergeant at, man? Where is this first sergeant? First sergeant,
where's your sergeant at, bro? Where's this? Let me just say
NCO at, man. Come here. What is he doing? He needs the NCO to get him. He need an NCO to find him something that's within his job description for him to do. Because I'm sure there's plenty of work for him to do besides worrying about what the hell going on with the name of these teams and all that.
It's about everything except, as he's close, quote unquote, says, making America great again.
Yeah.
He ain't doing shit to make America great. He's fucking up the country. Worried about the fucking team name of a NFL team, worrying about fucking having MMA fights on the White House lawn, trying to ban Harvard from getting any money because they didn't let his dumb ass get into the school. Like, he worries about the wrong shit. He's constantly worried about the wrong shit, in my personal opinion.
Listen,
And this is what makes him a terrible president to me.
I don't have any issue with him. I don't say worrying about it because I mean, like, I feel like a president is human, just like everybody else. Like, just like when Obama was in the House, they used to. I think they used to make a big deal about like him hooping with certain players, or I feel like there was one time where like they had like they made a big deal about revealing his NCAA tournament bracket. I might be about that one. So I don't think it's like crazy for a president to have opinions on stuff like this, especially. The problem that I think that I have is like, what? Why are you involved? Like, having an opinion, nothing wrong with that.
That's what I'm with it too.
But
like, you can have your opinion.
Man, you don't need to be involved in that. I mean, his opinion is cool. If he don't think they should do, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with him thinking that and him like speaking that if he a fan of the NFL. Well, no, I'm saying from like I don't think just because you're the president, you can't be a fan. Like, you can't say, oh, well, I don't think they should do X, Y, and Z. But I think where it gets like, all right, man, you got a job to do. When you start feeling like you can use your job title to start getting involved. Well, man, hell no. Don't you? What about these tariffs? Don't do something with these tariffs. You worry about a team name. Yeah.
I mean, problem with having an opinion. Everybody shouldn't be entitled to opinion, but everybody does have an opinion. He can have an opinion. That's cool. He can be a fan. That's cool. Like, me personally, I kind of wish they would have kept the Redskins name too. That's cool if that's your opinion. But to say that you as a sitting president are going to block a team from trying to get a new stadium if they don't change it back, that has nothing to do with you. Nothing whatsoever.
No. Now, there are some politicians who could do that, though.
That may be true. I'm not going to disagree with that.
They probably using some property tax money or getting some money.
Yeah.
That's on the local level though, or even at the state level maybe. But probably more likely it's on the local level. But that's what I'm saying. Like, local politicians, this might be, you know what I'm saying, and they this would fall up in the purview of some local politicians, not the damn president, in my opinion.
I don't even know if it should be a local thing. But
well, the reason I say it's a local thing because, and I don't know the structure, but most of the time when these arenas are built, there's some funding from the state, city, or whatever is part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So that's why I say this is probably under some sort of local politicians. And when I say local, I mean it could be city council, it could be the state government. I'm not really sure. I don't know how they're trying to finance the building of this new stadium, but it definitely is. It would be within the purview of some sort of politicians in there, because I can assure you, at least my guess, I can assure you that, you know, they trying to get tax breaks and on the cost of the land and, you know, zoning and all these different things. You know what I'm saying? So politicians are definitely involved. I just think this is a state level and below type of thing, not the damn president, in my opinion.
I agree. He should be worried about other shit. But
the terrorists, right, man?
Man, that's a whole nother conversation. People don't even understand the shit about terrorists. But what would you say in all your time of being alive so far, this 40 years or more, or whatever, would you say it has been the dumbest way for a person to lose their job that you've seen?
To be honest with you, I don't know that I know. I ain't gonna even put him out there like that.
Just say you've seen a couple dumb ways. Okay.
I mean, but I ain't really. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I ever seen nothing really crazy. To be honest with you, I ain't never really seen anything
I
crazy. I
think
mean,
I've
I
seen the
seen
type of
like
dumb
I think like to me a regular reason somebody get fired is you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Calling in too much. That's just regular. I ain't never really seen that I could think of. I never really seen, but I don't really be around. If you're somebody who getting fired on a regular basis, me and you probably not cool. Or like we probably not that close.
Well,
I like
you
stable
know,
people. I like people who go to work every day. I can't be fucking with y'all who getting fired all the time. No, man. Hell no.
I asked it because we had Christian Wilkins was fired and released from the Raiders for kissing a teammate on the head. That, in my opinion, is one of the dumbest ways to lose your job. Like,
It's sexual harassment. That's
hey
all it
man,
is. That's what it. I mean, that's my guess is that would
I
fall
guess
under. So I mean, hell, that's actually probably sexual assault because it's you make contact with them. I'm trying to think of them all them sexual, all that sharp training in the army. I'm trying to think how they tell us to distinguish sexual assault versus sexual harassment. And I think
harassment more so
it's
is
verbal or something like that, written. But when you touch
and
them,
actually physical.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think this is like a crazy. I mean, now I think you generally don't see like a man kissing another. I think it sounds crazy because this is not something you generally see in a sports environment. In terms of like in the locker room, now you've heard, people get fired. There's been lawsuits about sexual harassment and stuff like that.
Oh,
But I don't think I ever really heard of somebody saying, "Yo, bro, kiss me on my head." He kissed me. You know what I'm saying? That's something I would agree with you. It is kind of like it's different in that sense. You generally don't see this type of stuff in locker rooms.
Yeah, man. But the dude has a history of doing questionable things, man. Like I don't know what to say about the gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he grabbed when he's at Clemson, he grabbed the boy's stuff and like you say, he poked him in the butt. But I saw him do more than that.
It's something he shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah, he did the same thing in the league. I think he did it to what's the boy name? Josh Allen. He did something to make him go crazy. He got a lot of questionable things in his past, man. I think don't want to get censored or anything right now or banned or anything, but I think it's time for big fella to go on and come on out that closet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, big fella been doing a lot of questionable things for some years. You know what I'm saying? With the championship, he grabbing his ankles and dropping down and doing the splits and popping and all that stuff. Yeah, big fella, go on, come on out. Go on and live your truth, big fella.
Yeah.
Live your life.
I don't know the young man at all. You know what I'm saying? I pray for him. Because I think if you're doing those type of things, there's a decent chance, and I'm not a doctor, there's a decent chance that you might have some mental health issues. I'm not blaming it on mental health. It could be some things that's happened to him in his past that he never, expressed or talked about or anything like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I just pray for the young man and whatever he may potentially be dealing with that's causing him to act out in this manner in terms of touching people inappropriately. Because the things that I've seen that I saw him doing on TV against, I think it was Ohio State, and then the things he's accused of doing in the Raiders locker room, it's inappropriate whether, you know what I'm saying, you working at, whether you playing as a pro athlete or whether, you know what I'm saying, you're working at McDonald's, you shouldn't be kissing people, or hell, whether you're just walking down the street, you shouldn't be kissing people that don't want to be kissed, and things like that. So whatever he needs to address, I just pray that the young man get the help that get the help that he need, because my fear, what I think of is if you have someone who is inappropriately touching people like that, my fear is that does it ever, you hope that it never escalates in terms of like you in the locker room and you're on the field and you're doing this playfully, but you hope that it never escalates to where I don't want to really put that out there on him, but you know what I'm saying. So I just pray that the young man get the help any help that he potentially needs, and that he can overcome this obstacle in his career, and hopefully get back to playing football and doing something that he's clearly good enough to get paid to do. So that's my perspective, man. I don't want to beat the young man up.
Hey man, that's probably exactly what we need to get beat up. That's probably exactly what we need. Smack fire his ass. But
I'm praying for him, man. I'm telling you, I don't turn this into the religious hour, but since Lent, bro, I've been on this religious journey and this friend, and so
yeah, it's cool.
I want to pray for the young man.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm listening. I listen to Mano. We put the hand of God on motherfuckers. Mano said, "Put the hand of God on them." You know what I'm saying? So, but that's neither here nor there, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. If he actually has some mental health issues, he need to get help. Personally, just off the things I've been seeing, I think the boy is just not living his truth with his sexuality.
It could be a mental health thing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he don't have if I'm not saying he is, but if that is like you're saying, or like you're implying that might be his preferred lifestyle, maybe he needs some therapy to give him the self-confidence to be able to say,
Right.
this is I prefer X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Being able to help him live in a way that he's most comfortable.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and if that's his preferred lifestyle, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Do you? I'm just saying, just be honest with yourself, and that way you can stop putting yourself in these situations to where you're doing some questionable activities and getting yourself, like you say, losing a job is something that you're actually good enough to get paid for.
Sure. Get paid a lot of money, and
Yeah,
you got to find out my time as a pro athlete. Young man, listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Find you a good whatever your religion is.
Find a good outlet, man, regardless of how you want to look at it. Find
you a priest, a pastor, whatever your religion is, and you know what I'm saying, get in the Bible, man. And I promise you that'll help set you free. I promise you. Get in the Bible. Now don't y'all turn off on us because I'm talking about God. I know y'all want to see me act crazy, but you know what I'm saying, I'm on a religious journey, brother. I'm
We'll save our that last topic on that in that aspect. But as of right now, we've seen two somewhat stars, I guess you can call them stars, ask for trades. We've had Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin from the Washington Commanders ask for trades, right? I'm not completely sure of what McLaurin's issues with and why he wants to be traded.
I'll look it up right now. Go ahead.
But
see what they say.
I think as far as Michael Parsons asking for a trade, as a Cowboys fan, I'm on the fence with that to a certain extent. I'm not sure where you fall at. Do I think either of these gentlemen will get traded? No, I don't think either one of them will be traded. If I was in the Cowboys, me personally, me, and me only, if I was in the Cowboys office to where I can kind of make some type of decision like that, I'd trade his ass. Fuck it, I'm letting it go.
It's a money thing, bro.
Well, for him, for McLaurin.
Yeah. Both of them, obviously. I mean, obviously, with Micah, both of them. It's a money thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Parsons, I understand. I mean, I don't understand it, but I do understand. I understand that players want to maximize their earning potential. I have nothing against that. If you can get it, because it ain't coming from my pocket. It ain't taking money out of my pocket. It ain't taking food off my table. Now, as a fan, I don't want you motherfuckers getting that kind of money. I don't, personally. Because I don't think y'all be worth it. Micah Parsons has, I think they say he's one of only a handful of players okay, to give the good side of him first. They said he's only one of a handful of players to ever average 12 or more sacks in the first 4 years of their career. Got it. So that's great. But we also see as a fan what he does in the late games in crucial situations. Later on in the years, he becomes a ghost. He becomes James Harden. He disappears. Right? So you want to be paid as the highest non-quarterback of all time. In my opinion, you haven't done enough to earn it. You don't deserve it because when we need you, we can't count on you. When we need you to make a play, you can't make that play. When we need to make that stop, you can't make that stop. When we need you to get those 2 or 3 sack games in the late season when we're trying to make that playoff run, you can't get that. You get all your sacks in your first 10 games, and then you just coast for the rest of the year until we play a real sorry team. Then you may show up with a sack or 2 here or there in week 14, 15. The shit don't really much matter that much anymore. Which is why we had that pod a couple weeks ago, and TJ got his deal. I said I wish the Cowboys is only making it harder for themselves by pushing it down the line. They should have been got this contract done if you wanted to keep him. Get it done, get him signed, and go away from him. Don't have to worry about it no more. But the longer you wait, you're making it harder. And like I said, everybody can't get paid. Like I said in the group chat, like we've already paid Dak. We've paid CD. We paid Trayvon Diggs, who's going to come up again. I'm going to say another 3 years. Pickett's contract, this is his 4th year. His contract's got to get taken care of. Same thing with DeRon Bland. And you got to, yeah. So you got too many people who's going to be looking to get max contracts. Everybody can't get paid. So if you, in my opinion, if you go ahead out there right now and sign Micah and make him the highest paid non-quarterback, you're basically saying that you're not re-signing Pickens or DeRon Bland. You're basically saying it because you're going to handicap yourself with 4 players getting max money.
Yeah. You can't pay everybody. I think with both of these situations, and I'll dive a little bit more specifically into the Micah Parsons situation. I think with these contract holdouts in the NFL in general, I think this is the NFL's fault and the way their collective bargaining agreement and all that is structured. I think they're 100% responsible for it because history shows 2 things in the NFL that especially if you're not a quarterback, they don't really like to pay you. They'll throw big money at a quarterback who might be really good in a heartbeat. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen, when was the last time even a guy who maybe wouldn't be considered a top 10 quarterback has held out? They get paid. Quarterbacks get paid. Period. Yeah, quarterbacks get paid. It don't matter where they market paid. They'll get paid. Right. But I think this is, the way the NFL's contracts are structured and stuff like that. They have a history of not wanting to pay guys. And the other thing they have a history of is the minute you stop producing like they think you should produce, they'll find a way to cut your ass. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They have shown that. And so I think it forces players to take these stances more in the NFL than you see in the other 3 major sports. I mean, the other 2, I'm sorry. And I'm talking the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball, where you don't see it happen as often where guys are like holding out. But it happens every year in the NFL. Every year you have some of maybe it's not all the star players, but some of the better players on teams. It seems like every year you have at least 1 or 2 of the better players at their position in the NFL that don't report to training camp on time because they want to get paid because they know how the NFL operates. In the NFL, nobody in the NFL, in my opinion, would do what Portland did for Dame. You're like, oh, you ain't playing this year? Ah, man, we still give you $15 million or whatever he's making. They ain't doing that in the NFL. They not signing you. Or like when Kevin Durant was injured and he left Golden State and he got a max contract in Brooklyn before, you know what I'm saying, without being back healthy. The NFL ain't doing that. So I think it's a factor of the NFL. I don't know exactly what the holdup is for Micah Parsons. contract. I don't know if it's like a language thing in terms of like, he wants a certain amount of guaranteed money, or it could be what I think you're saying, where he wants to basically overtake TJ Watt. His name is Watt, right?
Yeah.
This is me in all honesty. Michael Parsons has not done enough in the NFL to be paid more than TJ Watt. I'm gonna look it up. I believe he's been Defensive Player of the Year more than one time.
Yeah, we've seen it. We did that when we talked about his pay. He's been all pros average, and we even said last year was a down year for him. He had 11 sacks. That was a down year.
He was a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year award 5 times, and he's won Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. He's been a 4-time. Now, Micah Parsons has been a 4-time All-Pro. Micah Parsons has never – T.J. Watt had led the NFL in sacks 3 times. Micah Parsons has never led the NFL in sacks. So I don't think Micah Parsons – and if I'm from an ownership perspective, I could look at Micah Parsons and say, we love you. We think you're an amazing player. But
we're not in the market.
Right. Your production on the field does not tell me that you should be paid more than TJ Watt.
I would actually pull up. I would take all 4 years and pull up his production from weeks 10 to the end of the season and hammer that out. Like, you see what you done in the first half of the season? Now look at what you do second half of every year. Your production isn't there. I
think Micah Parsons is like I'm trying to think of like a really fast car that you could say like, well, it's supposed to be fast, but when you put it up against like cars that have always produced and then they lose, I can't think of a car like that. I'm not really a car guy.
A Porsche supposed to be fast, Aston Martin, so-called Hellcats.
But I say this to say like when if you look back at the time since Michael Parsons has been here, how many moments has he had where like you could say like he's changed games? Like people always say, oh, he get double team and blah. Okay, you don't think TJ Watt gets double team? You don't think Miles? These dudes make impact plays in games, and I just don't feel like Michael Parsons consistently does that. I think you hear about he should, he pressures. Well, that's great. Right. But the guys who get paid the money, they don't just get pressures and sacks.
Yeah, he ain't no Aaron Donald.
You know what I'm saying? They get pressures and sacks. They change the game in important moments, whether it's getting a sack, getting a strip sack. They change games in important moments, and I just don't think he does that. And if he's waiting to be the highest paid player, whatever you said, non-quarterback or whatever, I don't think the Cowboys should pay him.
I know. I'm trading.
The Cowboys, like I said, they've made this bid, but with like Dak, and we don't have to go into a Dak conversation, but Dak is different because, as I said earlier, the NFL if you're a good quarterback or anywhere close to being really good, they're gonna pay you. It just is what it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. So it's hard for Micah Parsons to compare himself to a quarterback because quarterbacks can play till they're 35, 40 years old, play at a high level versus, we might be getting 12, you know what I'm saying? He ain't had a 20 sack season, but I don't think the Cowboys should trade him. I think they should try to find a way to work out a deal. But if he wants to be the highest paid defensive player of all time, I don't think he's produced enough to show that. You know what I'm saying? At this point in his NFL career, you're kind of getting paid off of 2 things. You're kind of getting paid off of your past production, and you're getting paid off of what we think you're going to produce in the future. So your past production shows that you're above average, but it does not show that you should reset the market. And we're hoping that, you can reset the market at some point. But I understand Micah is probably like, this is probably my last opportunity to get that kind of money. So I understand both sides. But if I'm the Cowboys, I don't really want to reset the market with Micah Parsons. I'm not paying you to pay you.
I would not. Like you said, I would try to find a common ground to where we get to. If he just can't and we can't, then I would trade him. But I would trade him long before I pay him.
Yeah.
I'm not paying that kind of money. I'm not resetting the market.
Hey, this could be our Herschel Walker trade. Got the Cowboy 3 Super Bowls.
Could be.
Not this. This could be the Cowboy
I don't
Herschel
feel
Walker trade.
for him, but you're right. It could possibly be a significant impact like the Herschel Walker trade. And I'm all for it. I've been saying that for a while, that for the last couple of years, that we should be trying to rebuild through the draft instead of just trading for players. But I guess you can say they kind of been trying. They've been drafting these O-linemen who just not clicking as of right now. But yeah, man, that's what I think we should do. The Cowboys should do with their money more so than just trying to spend all that money on Micah. Get us a true running back. Rebuild our O-line. Get our linebackers straight, because our linebackers is terrible.
Listen, the Cowboys might be the greatest team in NFL history at drafting wide receivers. They do pretty good on offensive linemen too, but they might have the best track record of drafting wide receivers.
You think so?
You could definitely make an argument. Like, when was the last time the Cowboys drafted a wide receiver in the first round who was trash? Like, think about all the guys the Cowboys had in the last 2 years.
I don't know all the wide receivers they drafted first. Only people I know they drafted first round was Mike, Dez, and CD.
They was all good. Mike, Dez, CD. They drafted. I think Antonio Brown was the second round draft pick. But yeah, he was good. But I don't know. Something was going on up here. He couldn't. No, Cooper came. Did Cowboys draft Cooper? No, he came over from the
Raiders.
Yeah, he came over from the Raiders. But anyway,
I don't know.
Pay him, but you know what I'm saying?
He deserves to get paid. He don't deserve to be the highest paid.
That's why I tell you this. If he don't become the highest paid, you're gonna hear talk about where he stands, that the Cowboys value that more than they value him.
They should.
I'm not saying they should or they shouldn't, but I guarantee you.
I think they should.
That's just the way it works, man. If you're a good quarterback, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna be the highest paid team. I know.
And myself included, as a Cowboys fan, we give Dak a lot of flack. We ride Dak. Do I think that Dak deserved to get paid as much as he did? No. But if we're gonna be honest, if we look at stats and stats alone, in his time in the NFL, Dak has been a top 3 to 5 quarterback his whole career. If we're looking at stats alone,
I give you top 10 easy.
No. If we're looking at stats alone, he's top 5 easy.
I can't.
I'm not talking about his win losses. I'm not talking about making the clutch plays or the right play. I'm just talking about strictly passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, fumbles. Yeah. His stats.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. You could be right. You could be right. Because Dak could kill. He's gonna get them. He's gonna get some.
Dak's gonna give you 43 to 4,600 passing yards a year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's gonna give you that. He's gonna give you roughly 23 to 28 passing touchdowns a year. On a bad year, he may give you 16 interceptions. On a good year, you may only get 4 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You definitely.
He is a great quarterback statistically. Now, where he lacks it is the team thing, where we need the crucial plays.
Same.
That's what exactly.
But I will give that credit. I'm gonna give that credit. He has done it. He just might not do it as often as
we need it. He doesn't do it when we really need it.
He don't do it. He's had his moments. You know what I'm saying?
Not playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue against it. I'm just saying he definitely had his moments, but it's just not as consistent as you would like to see. When, you know what I'm saying? When you start seeing some of these other guys who get paid similar money deliver not all the time, a more routine basis.
Which is why I said they should value Dak more. I think they should. Same way with CD. Like, do I think some CD stats are overblown? Yes, because he's force fed the ball. Most of his catches are little short slants and stuff like that. He's not really going deep. He's not really just going crazy across the middle. So his stats are overblown. But that's neither here nor there. What he does do is get you that 100-some catches a year, that 1,000+ yards and those touchdowns. So they supposed to be valued. Micah Parsons, can we honestly say he's a top 5, top 10 edge rusher in the league?
Yes. He's top 5.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he's top 5?
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it.
I'm about to pull up these stats. Not that the stats are the end all be all. Right. Give you at least a indication. Let's see.
Like you say, like you say, we've talked about you're more critical about him in the group chat. I agree with you sometimes, but I do give pushback because I was the one who was saying he does get the pressures.
Okay. So these are the leading sack. These were the top sack, the leaders in sack last year. Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati led 17. Myles Garrett had 14. Nico Benito, I'm not trying to mispronounce his name purposely. He had 13.5. Kyle Van Noy, Baltimore had 12.5. Then you had 1, 2, 3 players, including Parsons, that had 12 sacks. Now, granted, Micah Parsons had 12 sacks in 13 games. Then TJ Watt, I don't think anybody would argue that Micah Parsons is better than TJ Watt.
So I'm gonna say
he's not better. I don't think he's better than TJ Watt or Myles Garrett.
No, that's not even a question. Yeah. He's not even close. Oh, the Van Noy guy, he's actually pretty good. I think he's very good. Cam Hayward, he's not considered. He's inside. He's an inside guy, right?
Yeah.
He's D tackle.
Yeah, I think he is a nose or D tackle. Damn, this Van Noy, Henderson done had 17.5 sacks 2 years in a row.
Henderson is coming on good.
Dang.
I'm not gonna say he's top 5 yet, but he's definitely a good player too. I'm trying to think who else just stands out. Not TJ. What's the dang? They had another guy that was up in Pitt with TJ. That was pretty good too. On the other side of TJ Watt.
Let me see.
I'm trying to think.
Pittsburgh don't have nobody else on here. That don't mean he could have been. Oh no, Cam Hayward had 8 sacks.
Yeah. But Cam was up with New Orleans.
No, this dude played for Pittsburgh.
Oh no, that's another Hayward. Okay, yeah. It may be who I'm talking. It could be, but they had another edge rusher that was pretty good too. But you might be right. Micah might be a top 5. He could be. I just have to sit down and think about it a little bit more. But I know his name is very popular. His name is very popular, being he with the Cowboys, and he's always on the media talk, especially with his podcast and everything. So,
Nick Bosa, where the hell is he at? Did he play last year?
I think he ended up getting hurt. Bosa, because I was just gonna say there's somebody from San Francisco.
Check this gap out.
Bosa is in. Hello, who is that? Bosa's in San Diego, right?
I don't know where the hell he at. I couldn't tell you.
Either way, he could be, you know what I'm saying, top 5. You might be right.
TJ Watt got the most sacks in the last 4 seasons. Then Myles Garrett. Then that Henderson cat. Then Nick Bosa. Then Micah Parsons.
Okay.
But they actually got there's a significant. Micah Parsons only played 63 games. And these other guys, TJ Watt played 74. Myles Garrett and Hendrickson played 80. Nick Bosa played just 3 more, 66. That's kind of surprising. He must get hurt a lot.
Parsons missed games every year.
Okay, I'm like, damn,
yeah. But we can leave it at that, man. It's cool. As we get wrapped up, you ready to wrap this up, man? We got one more person of interest who's been on, as you said, been on a hell of a run. I want to say the last 8 months or so, maybe a little bit somewhere up and down. Our good old boy, a favorite Shannon Sharpe. Man, he settled his lawsuit with the OnlyFans girl. I didn't get to fact check it, but I believe they settled on $23 million. somewhere up in there.
That's the
I didn't
number
get.
that
I didn't know.
has been floating around.
Yeah, I think that's the number I saw somewhere, but I didn't go back and fact check it. But I heard they settled for $23 million, and he's been recently, if I'm not mistaken, he's been brought up for another civil suit as well, right?
Yes, sir.
And he's been fired by ESPN. Now, unless you've been under a rock somewhere, him being fired shouldn't be a surprise. But some people was acting like it was a surprise. What do you think about this legendary run that Shannon Sharpe is on?
Well, you talking about I don't want to say that. I was gonna say something. Yeah, man, this you hate to see it. You hate to see it when people who I believe in terms of being a commentator on TV, I believe Shannon Sharpe is an amazing talent.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to talk football, he sounds educated. Now he can get a little bit fanboy when it comes to basketball, but he's entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he doesn't hide the fact that I do think even though his fandom can go a little overboard, he still will criticize LeBron James at times. But I think he's an amazing talent. And so to see him have this sort of downfall it sucks from the perspective of somebody, you know what I'm saying, who respects what he does professionally. I think that I feel like the one thing, the downfall in terms of now let me clarify this. His downfall, if you will, is only in terms of his presence on a
TV.
media space that somebody else owns, right? ESPN owns their television network. Fox Sports owns their television network. But from my understanding, his podcast is doing amazing. His podcast with Chad Ochocinco, or I would just say his media company, because he has what he does with Chad Ochocinco, and he has his own separate podcast. I think it's called Club Shay Shay.
I thought he had a deal with somebody else too, but it is his.
Yeah, but he owns it. You know what I'm saying? So he's still doing great in that perspective, but you just, you know what I'm saying, you might not see him on TV as much. I feel like that where the problem he ran into, this is just me, where it kind of like caught him a little bit, was with the Club Shay Shay thing was fine, but I think when he started doing the podcast with Chad Ochocinco, he got a little bit looser. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more like, I'm just chilling, I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? And, he would talk about things. He's had more controversy and stuff that he said on that podcast than he ever had on, you know what I'm saying? He had to apologize for the Meg Thee Stallion thing. I think he had to, I shouldn't say he had to, but he apologized for some of the stuff he said about Meg Thee Stallion, and he might have apologized for something else. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like that to me, he was coming into a collision course anyways. Well, something was going to have to give. He wasn't going to be able to continue to talk about like some of the sexual type things and stuff like that and still be on some of these networks and some of their partners, especially with the rate at which his podcast was growing. So I think him leaving like the television airways on those type of networks was probably inevitable. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was inevitable. But I think, he probably is in a space where he can probably be himself a little bit more, kind of similar to Joe Budden, in terms of Joe Budden was talking about why he left Spotify to go independent, blah, blah, blah. You know, and he could run Club Shay Shay. I think that's what the name of the company is. Or maybe it's Shay Shay Media or something like that. He can run it. He can be himself. And people will pay him large sums of money to just be himself, where he can talk about, the sex and, to make the comments that he made about Meg Thee Stallion and stuff like that. and still make large sums of money, and it's something that nobody can take. Like, he's not going to fire himself. So it
Right.
sucks that he's missed that side, because he was a really good presence on TV. He was really funny. So I think it sucks on that end, but on he's still making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? You got to clean up your personal life, try to keep that out these streets. But
I would pretty much agree with everything you said. He's very entertaining. For me, there were times where he rubbed me the wrong way, especially when he's with Skip. I thought he would go overboard, and for the lack of better words, I think he was started to do cooning stuff sometimes. But that was just my opinion. Didn't take away from his, like you say, his skill set of being very knowledgeable of the game, being very professional most of the times. Like I say, his fan level sometimes would take it over the top and trying to do too much. I agree that he's on a collision course where something was going to happen. He had too much going on from that situation, the situation of the audio being leaked of him supposedly having sex with the young lady. Like I say, the Meg talk. He just had so much going on that eventually being with ESPN and who's being housed by Disney was gonna be like, you know what, we got to cut ties.
I think it was the type of things that were coming out. It wasn't necessarily he was having issues, but it's like the constant is all revolving around sexual related stuff.
Yeah. And then on top of that, he went on to start sponsoring the Rose Sparks sex pills or whatever they are. Some type of thing. He this thing called Rose Sparks. It's almost like if I'm not mistaken, it's something like equivalent to Viagra or something like that. He became a sponsor with them.
Okay, I got you. They're a sponsor. Okay, I got you.
So, excuse me. And he talked about them a lot on his podcast with Chad. So, and that's why a lot of people thought, went on to say that the audio of him and the old girl being leaked was staged, because as soon as that happened, he came right behind that with sponsoring those pills.
Now, you think he'll be back on TV?
I don't want to say never.
Season is obviously here.
I don't want to say never. I don't think he's going to be back on TV this year. I would give it maybe another year or so, and then maybe somebody who's going to look for another show they need for a sports show. Because, I mean, realistically, if we're being honest, how many people we got left? If you're looking at ex-athletes that people really want to talk about, because you still got Ryan Clark, who talks a lot, who shows up. You have, well, let me take it back. The African Americans, I should say.
Ryan Clark, he thinks he America's dad or big brother. That's my perspective. I'm not a Ryan Clark guy. No disrespect to him. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing. I wish you continued success.
I don't always agree with Ryan Clark, but I'm not going to talk bad about Ryan Clark. Ryan's a noob, so we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, who?
He a noob.
Oh, I don't do that. That's Greg. They're Greg people.
Hey, be careful what you say.
Yeah, I ain't worried about no noobs.
He's part of J5, and we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I ain't.
That's the brotherhood.
Yeah, I ain't listen. I don't care nothing about none of that. I just say I wish him the best. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? He's not for me. I wish him the best. I wish, you know what I'm saying? I know he's doing that podcast they have, The Pivot, does well. I think he's doing really well on ESPN. I like when he talks about football on ESPN because he seems to be very intelligent. Obviously, he played the game at a high level. He comes off very knowledgeable, very well spoken. I think he is a good representative of a black male on TV. Just sometimes he
like I say, you can like what somebody does and how they come off, and just don't always agree with them, and that's why I don't always agree with them. Same way about LeBron. I think everything you're saying about Ryan Clark, it's the same way I feel about LeBron. He's just not my guy, but he's a very good example of what a black man should be.
Now, there's
very knowledgeable, well spoken.
While we talking about Shannon Sharpe, the one thing I will say is that I think two things with him. If I were Shannon Sharpe, I would never do another show like he did when he was on CBS, because I don't think that's the best version of Shannon Sharpe. I think the Shannon Sharpe that I think he can be on a pregame show, like ESPN has, I think it's called NFL, whatever that pregame NFL show on is on like for 3 hours or something like that, or
Right.
The NFL Network has a really long pregame show. Fox probably has one. All the networks, they have. I think that's where he's
Right.
best at, where he can talk football and his natural funniness can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can be let out versus on there, you got like 30 seconds. You got to get in and get out because you got to get to commercial. You 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. That's probably will be the best bet instead of him doing like a long form show like he did with, like, say, Fox Sports and then with Stephen A.
Those are the ones I'm talking about. He's good at.
Well, he's good at it, but you're asking him to put himself in a situation to where he's on TV a lot and his personal life can bleed into it and cause issues. I'm with you. Put him on those like where he's not on TV every day. Put him in a position like, say, how Ryan Clark, like you say, the pregame shows.
I want him on TV every day. I'm saying the best version of Shannon Sharpe is when he can be, when he is on TV and he got time to breathe. Like when he come in with the little goat with the goat mask on and LeBron jersey. But some people may think that's too much. But what I'm saying is, if he on a CBS like halftime show or a pregame show where it's like an hour or 30 minutes, he don't have time to do all of that. They're not going.
Yeah, keep him in trouble.
Huh?
Yeah, to keep him
But
in
no,
trouble.
he ain't. But his personal life is what's getting him in trouble. He ain't never got in trouble for what he did on TV.
I agree. But
At least
I'm
to
saying,
my knowledge. Let me not say that. Let me say to my knowledge.
Right. Me, to my knowledge, he has. I think the fact that he's on TV so much that when his personal life is exposed, or not necessarily exposed, it's just brought to light, it allows them to be like, okay, he may be more of a hindrance to our situation because we're having him on TV every day and we're putting so much into him.
As opposed to, he was on there on first take like a couple days a week.
But he was ESPN is housed by Disney, so that's a little different.
Yeah. But
what I'm saying is when they putting so much into you and you've been seen so much, it's like, okay, you're putting more into someone that you're seeing 3 to 4 times a week than somebody you're seeing for a couple hours on Sunday, or Monday night, something like that. But either way, I'm praying for him, man. I'm praying for him. Like you say, it's good for the fact that he does still have something to fall back onto with his nightcap, his club, say. That way he's not in complete, total disarray in his life. But, man,
he ain't come back. Listen, he can't come back like my boy Micah Irvin. That boy got more lives than, you know what I'm saying? That's my boy. Mike Irvin did everything wrong.
It is on a positive note because, man, but Mike, something else, boy, Mike might be loaded out. We just gonna say it might be loaded.
Yeah, man.
For real. Might be loaded. But, man, it is what it is, man. So it's a good show, man. We try to keep the dustwood and the hollering down, the screaming down, man. Get in, get out, have a good, straightforward show for the week. I don't know how many more weeks y'all gonna get like this, but this was a good week. So with that being said, man, it's old heads, and we catch y'all next go round. Peace.
I still gotta let it alone.